Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Sibilix. This is a guide on how to start a hair salon business, largely found in residential estates or urban centers, and it excludes very high-end branded salons which cater for an extremely upper clientele. We are going to check the middle class in our review. So there are dissenting views about the size and definition of the middle class in Kenya. Yet, even without the statistics, a casual look at neighborhoods, the media on the streets will indicate a change towards a more sophisticated lifestyle. For instance, we have some services costing as low as 50 shillings, and salons are affordable across the social spectrum. However, socialization, career, lifestyle, and exposure to trends all influence how much a woman is ready to spend on their hair. For instance, a career woman exposed to some social pressure and a higher disposable income will spend more on hair than a stay-home mother. Some of the factors affecting salon business at a national level basically include the population. So the higher the population, the larger the market, and the more people there will be purchasing salon services. So currently in Kenya, we're about 49.5 million people. And so Kenya's population is growing, which means the customer base for the salon business is also increasing. Inflation affects the disposable income and thus the amount of money an individual spends on products not considered to be necessities. So Kenya's inflation has slightly increased, and it's not to the level that has largely affected consumption of hair and beauty services among the middle class. This is because grooming is seen as important for upward mobility in business, workplace, or socially. Other indicators included the purchase of the local consumer beauty company, Interconsumer Products, by the French multinational L'Oreal at a price that was over 3 billion shillings. Was a vote of confidence in the long-term growth of the beauty industry in Kenya. Of note is the wide range of hair care products under the Nice and Lovely brand that were previously sold by Interconsumer. Service is a critical factor. If you get it right, it will most likely lead to success of the business. If the location is good, facilities are superb, and hygiene is of the greatest quality, but then service is poor, then the salon business will not succeed. Service is first about the professional skills of the stylist, how he or she is able to make hair either by following customers' instruction, innovating or suggesting styles, or even maintenance, depending on her knowledge of hair care and understanding of the customer. Service also depends on the relationship both with the owner and the hairdresser are able to develop with the customer. So this includes the basics of customer care like politeness, flexibility, listening, and warm personality, which is informative without being patronizing. So great service helps generate positive word of mouth, which plays a big role in the growth and sustainability of a salon business. Consumer behavior is important in this business, and in urban areas, customers' choice of a salon is chiefly influenced by some factors. For example, popular does not necessarily mean a salon which is the most visited in an area, but one which a friend or a customer has vouched for. And an exceptional hairstylist will attract attention of other ladies and eventually lead to the question, where do you make your hair? Professionalism is another important area. So how well does the stylist make hair or the requests by the customers? Do they understand what the customer is requesting, and do they even offer friendly advice? They're able to troubleshoot problems and offer workable solutions. Do they make suggestions? Do they know what is trending and what is innovative? Service is an important area. How the customer and the owner relate to the customers in terms of trying to offer personalized service, common courtesy, appreciation, and to some level of emotional and even physical comfort. Location is also an important factor. Is the location convenient in terms of accessibility at the needed hours? Is the surrounding environment too noisy? Is it safe? These are some of the things that are considered. Price is also another indicator, and is the price fair in relation to the prevailing economic situation or the quality of service and the image of the salon? Am I getting value for the amount that I've given? Flexibility in terms of the hours of operation. What happens if a customer fails to earn an appointment? Can they be conveniently slotted at another time without much ado? These are very important in this business. The hygiene of the salon itself. What is the level of cleanliness in the salon? How do they sterilize towels, combs, and other tools? What is the personal grooming of the stylists, for example? Other services. Does the salon professionally offer extras such as pedicures, manicures, massage facials, and other beauty services? And lastly but not least, is there a basic level of comfort available either while waiting or having the services done? So these are important factors that affect consumers. They will directly affect the stickiness of your customers. At the local level, the business is majorly affected by location. In terms of convenience, socioeconomic status of the area, and existing competition. Though a convenient location is not the leading influence of purchase, a strategic location adds to the factors that may attract a customer to a salon. A convenient location also gives the much needed exposure new salon needs. With so many movements between estates and the increasing number of new estates and residential buildings, an easily accessible salon helps attract the clueless new residents looking for a place to make or get their services. If the service is great, the customer will stick. Still, if the client does not stay and continues with their search, a number of search works in areas helps pay the business bills. In some areas, there are economies of location in the sense that a high number of salons are located in the same area or building, and the section has developed a reputation as the area to offer such services. So this means that a business opening in that building, for instance, is guaranteed a kind of exposure and a higher chance of getting customers even without doing anything exceptional as compared to the competition. Standing out from the competition and making the distinction known becomes the challenge. The most common form of differentiation in the business is service in terms of quality of offered services, extra services, and facilities, to some small extent price. Price-based differentiation, if not coupled with great service, will only make a temporary advantage. Loyalty in this business is high. Loyalty is mainly based on the services offered and the kind of relationship the stylists or the owners builds with the customers or clients. Service is both in terms of people skills and also professional competence, like how good the stylists are in giving the services. In a highly competitive environment, this kind of loyalty makes it a challenge for new salons to acquire the initial batch of customers. Customers must be convinced that what the new service or salon is offering is as good, and they can drop the stylists they have been loyal to. This is method to currently used to go around the loyalty problem is to poach stylists with a loyal following from a competitor. So the stylists come with their own customers and they get paid goodwill so as to agree to defect. In locations with high loyalty and relatively satisfied customers, Salon will take long to break even unless the owner comes up with a smart way to penetrate the market. Socioeconomic and demographics of the location is also a factor. Income levels, lifestyle, education, career, and economic activities in a location will determine the spending on services offered by the salon. All right, what is the required capital and the equipment? The first look at the licensing required, and that is a local government trade license, which varies from county to county but ranges between 3,000 to 10,000 shillings. And this can be acquired at the local authorities' offices. You also need the health certificate. This is issued to the individual stylists to ensure that they are hygienic and don't have diseases that can be transferred to clients. The cost stretches between 500 to 1,000 shillings. In some counties, the health certificate is not strictly enforced, and this can be acquired at a government or a private hospital. The Music Copyright of Kenya license, this may be necessary if the salon has a TV or is playing music. The cost ranges between 1,500 to 4,000 shillings, depending on the location. So the equipment that is required, you will need a hair dryer. This for the hair drying activities in the salon. This is a classical trademark salon equipment. The price can range between 12,000 to 30,000. The mostly common use dryers with basic features can even average 15,000 shillings. Second-hand dryers from individuals and dealers are available at a low cost of 7,000 bob. This can be readily available. This can be readily sourced from supermarkets, but a wider variety of better prices can be found in equipment stores along River Road and Kirinyaga Road. We also need a blow dryer. This is for straightening. It ranges between 2,000 to 15,000, with the most salons opting for models which average about 2,500. You also need chairs or seats, the styling chairs, and a Ken Poly chair, for example, can start from 500 to 700 shillings. The alternative is to go for specialist hairstyling chairs, and this ranges between 2,000 to 30,000 depending on the quality and the features. You also need the hair styling station. This for more professional look at the hairstyling station. It can be wooden or metallic with mirrors, drawers, and compartments to hold different tools. The price of a hair styling station averages 5,000 to 20,000 depending on the features. You also need a sterilizer. This is used to sterilize equipment. It kills germs and maintain a high level of hygiene. You can get one from about 5,000 to 15,000 depending on the make and model. We have air strainers. These are used for straining hair, and they average about 3,500 bob. We have the shampoo balls and sinks. This can be either fixed or movable, and it costs anything between 3,000 to 50,000 depending on the quality. Other things that are required are manicure sets. This can be as low as from 500 to 5,000 depending on the quality. Other items that are required are miscellaneous items. Can be towels, shower caps, combs, brushes, things like the shampoos and the conditioners, facial creams. This can range between 100 to 2,000 shilling. The number of salon equipment suppliers, this include the supermarkets, but if you really want to have variety and also flexibility on pricing, then you can go to the upper section of River Road, Accra Road, towards the Globe Cinema roundabout. You get some wholesale suppliers. So the capital requirement to start actually will range between 50,000 to about 2 million, depending on the equipment and the facilities and the location you're looking to set up the business. Salons are the major avenue through which people seek care services. As noted, there are minimal barriers to entry in the business, both in terms of skills and capital. The number of self-care training colleges has more than doubled in the last 5 years. Besides, there's a lot of informal training of the stylists through apprentice programs in the business. This means competition in the business will continue to increase. There are more of those businesses opening than closing. This hints at opportunities existing in the market. The ability to seize these opportunities, make a profit, and grow depends, among other things, how well Salon differentiates either to serve a niche or fill a gap in the market, how soon one creates or creates that lead in a service, the location, how soon the marketing is done, and the use of guerrilla and aggressive marketing techniques, and internal influences such as controlling costs. So the market is fragmented such that it is rare to get one that is controlling more than 18% of the market, unless it is in centers with less than 10 businesses. It is, however, not unusual to have one that is less than 1% of the market. This is usually measured against the population of the area and the percentage of those who will be in need of the services. The lack of a dominant player means that any new entrant in the market who has the six or the right mind of factors has more than a fair chance of capturing customers. There's room for branding at the larger, say, regional level. This is at a high cost. This is because, considering the loyalty in the market and the kind of relationships that the business create with customers, branding will involve a consistent marketing and advertising messages that promises a better experience than customers are presently enjoying. Without any evidence or guarantees of quality, such messages may or may not work. A shortcut to this will be through a radical innovation which solves a common or a niche problem. This could be through the introduction of facilities and methods, proprietary or otherwise, not available in the market. At a more local level, crude branding is possible through consistency of service or having methods and facilities not available in the neighborhood. Normally, such branding starts by trying to build a name as being the best in a particular service. Thus, salon business may aim at making sure it excels in services like blow dry or plating or chemical or whatever service that is offered. In this business, a reputation based on service may take months to build due to the high loyalty among customers. It's worth to note that the trend among individual stylists to build personal brands, which at times are one than the salon themselves. For such personal brands, help the stylists negotiate better terms with the salon owner and easily start and on salon or give room for freelance. So competition is largely based on quality of service, variety of service, price, convenience, and location. The market entry strategies that one can employ and setting up in any available space and paint salon on the wall and wait for customers to walk in. This strategy is based on the premise that there is more demand than supply for the services, and customers will walk in. It treats lightly the nature of loyalty in the business and assumes there is a pool of customers dissatisfied by their present services, stylists who will shift to the new outfit. So depending on the level of competition in the area, the strategy may or may not work. If competition is low, then there is a high chance of netting dissatisfied customers. Dissatisfied customers largely make their choice of which salon to shift to, or on the strength of friend recommendations, and no one is likely to recommend a salon service of which they have not experienced. Again, if the competition is low relative to the population of the area, then the strategy may not work. If there is a service in such a place that is not good and customers walk away unhappy, then the business is likely to fail in the medium term. Another way is to set up a service a salon in a prime location and for customers to walk in. This is a strategy based on the assumption that customers will opt for a convenient location as opposed to walking an extra distance to their usual place. There is an assumption that a prime location will help capture walk-in customers in search of a service, and a great location will also give a new business immediate visibility. So this works in all scenarios, but not in isolation. Customers won't walk in and become regular customers in a salon simply because it's located in a convenient location. So a great location is an advantage when combined with the other factors that customers care about. So you can also focus and set up a salon that stresses or focuses on certain services or features. So this strategy aims at capturing the market by trying to win a segment of the consumers rather than everybody. It's also an effort in differentiating and making the difference known. When coupled with a good location, this strategy works in the short term. In the long run, in the long term, it works if the promises given are fulfilled and don't end up being a marketing gimmick. You can also set up a business but have above average facilities as compared to other businesses in the area. So this works by attracting immediate attention to the market. Customers will try out the new place fascinated by facilities or hint at modern facilities. The strategy can work in the short term, but again, to build lasting impact, customers will need to be given a reason other than the facilities in order for them to remain. You can also set up business and charge a lower price as compared to competition. This assumes that other consumer will choose a lower price as compared to a higher price for the same service. It tends to ignore the fact that in the salon business, service is supreme. Though price is important, it's not totally at the expense of quality. So this strategy works only in the very short term when the price conscious customers try out the new salon. So such loyalties are temporary unless cultivated to last. There will be a challenge though if the salon decides to increase the price in future, the customers may not stick because of this. You can also set up a business and also poach popular stylists or talent. In this case, the new place pays goodwill to a popular dresser so that they can be effective to their business. So the stylists are brand on their own with power to influence their faithful followers. Although this strategy is expensive, the salon has to jump at start and breaks even sooner. There are some few risks though. The stylist may have exaggerated his or her loyal clientele base, and then not all customers may follow her to the new location. If this is done well, the strategy is effective, but for long-term survival, the business has to think beyond the stylists and build its own brand to survive beyond stylists. You can also set up a business in a location with many other similar services, and with a reputation as an area that offers those services. So in this case, we'll be taking advantage of the location economies and the fact that a section of a town is known for salon business, for example. Place means that you will spend little on advertising, since customers will walk in, and still the competition is intense and you need to be aggressive to win the customers. Many use a combination of service, attractive price, and guerrilla marketing tactics to attract the customers. Um, this works, but the owner has to be prepared for really aggressive marketing and competition. You can also do the normal or the traditional marketing. This will involve distributing flyers, sticking posters and boards, mentioning the advantages the salon is offering as compared to the existing ones in the same location. This could be a hit or a miss, but it helps give the salon visibility and somehow makes consumers trust more than, say, a salon which does not advertise. So good advertising and marketing work, especially if it's consistent. The response may not be immediate, but it pushes the salon to the minds of the consumers. So with the consistency, persistency, and a clever message, this method works. Overall spending of salon and beauty products has been on the upward trend, but the share of individual salons has been on the decline because of increased competition. On the other hand, salons that have existed for more than 2 years actually have recorded a higher average revenue. Revenue, that is a function of loyalty, type of client, and the service that is offered. Revenue is also influenced by a number of customers, how often they visit a salon, and how much they spend per visit. Above average revenue figures are recorded in salon serving career or salaried women, and these visits salons on average twice a month. Double the visits by those in informal employment. So formally employed women are more consistent in their salon visits since they receive a salary and are able to properly budget for hair and other salon services. So in areas where the majority of the clients were public school teachers, for example, mid-level civil servant, the revenue was comparatively low. So salons in Nairobi record a higher average income as compared to other major towns in the country. This had less to do with income and more to do with social pressure, which led to an increase in the average spending by individual as they try to stand out and keep up with the trend. So this pressure is present in all urban areas, but more pronounced in Nairobi. The salon servicing niches, which have branded themselves as good in particular services, record higher revenue. Niche markets could be like dreadlocks, Asian and European hair, or dye, and so forth. So salons in good locations and with a professional image and service recorded higher revenues. This is by attracting a relatively higher number of clients and also one-time walk-in customers who are far from the regular salons but in need of a quick fix. The salons offering extra services such as manicure, pedicure, facials record a high income. And the extra revenue from these activities usually is about 14% of the total revenue. In some cases, this is enough to pay for the cost of running the business. There are those salons that offer manicure, for example, at free of charge to those consuming services of a certain value, usually 500 shillings and above. This aimed at giving stickiness and extra service to the customer. A couple of salons also offer related feminine items like perfumes and clothing, and again, sales of such items are profitable if they are of unique design or of a better relative to other shops that sell such items. And there's no clear pricing formula, so the classical demand and supply forces tend to determine different prices for the same service in various parts of town. For instance, the income and social structure of a place also plays a role in determining the price. Hence, charges could be higher in some estates and urban centers as compared to others. In the CBD, for example, you expect to have higher prices considering the location and mostly the hours of operation. Most salons in the CBD will tend to operate after working hours when people are coming from work or mostly during weekends when people have enough time to travel to town. So differential marketing has a positive impact on revenue as long as the customer is comfortable in it and does think herself overpriced when compared to other customers. So revenue is also higher in salons practicing organizational and service efficiencies, manpower, reward, and supplies. Service efficiencies are to do with such factors as speed and capacity. During the peak times, how long do the customer have to wait before they are served? So how many customers can be served in a day? So the break-even point for this business is about 7 months, and the duration could be longer or shorter depending on aspects like location, service, marketing, and economic conditions. So most of these salons or businesses average about 3 employees, and skills of the hairstylists or the employees are gained through either formal training, apprenticeship, or a combination of both. Formal training is of varying quality depending on the training school, and the major advantage of formal training is that it equips the stylists with a theory that comes in handy when handling and understanding some hair problems. So this may lack among apprentices with informal training. On the other hand, most apprentices are passionate and they have a natural talent for playing with either hair or giving other services and are eager to learn. The lack of formal theoretical knowledge may stretch their learning curve and denying them the know-how needed to have complex situations which require more theory to help understand. Also, when the apprentice is of little formal education, there may be challenges in communicating to certain clients. Most salons tend to balance between the two types of staff and having a variety of skills and background. The new salons are hesitant to employ fresh stylists, fresh out of college or apprenticeship. Instead, prefer to start with an experienced and hands-on or several of the green stylists. Customers want to feel confident the stylist knows what he or she is doing and not experimenting with their heads. This is especially important for new salons. So to cut costs, some new salonists employ fresh out of college stylists. So depending on the practical experience of the stylist, this may work positively. However, if a situation arises and the stylist is unsure, it reflects badly on the salon. As discussed earlier, the word of mouth is critical for the growth of a salon. Work of art, the quality of stylist is there to see, carried by a customer on their head or in their face. So for new salons, it's important to have stylists who will help generate positive currency. So reward methods normally stylists in a new salon often demand a salary and commission, although there are cases where stylists start purely on commission. For a new salon, salary helps keep the stylists working for you, since initially there may not be enough businesses to sustain them on commissions. So a high turnover of staff is not desirable in the early stages of the business. This is more so if a stylist is good and some customers have started to love them, they might even prefer to have home or house calls, and this in turn will um, get the money out of the business. To succeed in this business, you might need to employ certain management strategies. And if you're doing this as a side hustle, then it might be a little bit of a challenge as you need to give close or keen care to the traffic in the business. How do you ensure that proper use of tools, resources such as chemical, shampoo, etc.? How do you monitor your revenue, whether on commission or salary? How do you know the amount of money that is being made every day? So you can either choose to trust an employee or a supervisor. In this case, one will know the estimated amount of money that the salon needs to make in a day, and you can set targets. So if you set targets, for example, you say in a weekend you expect this amount of money or this amount of revenue, then it becomes easier to manage the business. You can also have an anchor stylist with others working under her. So in this case, it will be easier to manage since you only have two to deal with one person. So for her trouble, the anchored stylist may put up or may be comfortable with a higher salary or higher commissions, and they will always keep the other staff on toes. You can also list out the workstations. You can have set up the business, but then just list out the workstations, or you have a salon as a service. So you will charge, for example, per day or per hour. All right. So I hope that you have learned one or two things. If you will want to engage in this salon business as a side hustle or a main business, like the video, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Have a good day, and God bless you.